Unicorns and glitter and taxidermy critters are just some of the things they like. They also enjoy 80s hair bands, Grizzly Adams and John Goodman, so if you think that's weird then you can take a hike. But the things they enjoy the most are making art and cracking jokes, so without further ado, here are your hosts. You've got your two artsy gals, your two artsy gals. Here are your two artsy gals.
Hey listeners, Alani and I had an awesome day in Seaside, Oregon last Sunday, where we recorded this interview with Angela Whitlock, who is a metalsmith and jewelry designer, and my friend Teresa Roehr also sat in on this interview, so there's some things you need to know about it. We got pretty crazy. We laughed all day long. We laughed so much that my stomach hurt when I got home because we laughed so much. So there are a few portions of this interview where there are two conversations happening at once. And I tried to cut most of that out, but I think that Teresa and I haven't seen each other in a very long time, and we were super excited to see each other. And there were 4 of us in a room around a tiny recorder, and Lonnie and I are used to recording in a situation where we have microphones right up in our face holes. So yeah, we all got pretty jibber jabbery. So if there are some portions of it that you're like, what are they even fucking doing? Sorry about that, man. But stick around. It's a great episode. I didn't mention in the interview or during the recording that you can go to our website, twoartsygals.com, and I will be posting pictures of Angela's beautiful jewelry and a couple of links that for businesses that we mentioned. And I wanted to make sure that you all know that you can find her jewelry right now at Prana Wellness Center in Astoria, Oregon, or Sea Soul Shoe Boutique in Seaside, Oregon. So if you're down there, you should go buy some of her pretty jewelry. I'm going to do it because it's super awesome and I love it. This was a great interview. Seriously. Thank you, Angela. Thank you, Teresa. It was awesome. She did mention a little bit about fundraising for the show, and I just wanted to say that is, when you get to it, she was talking about maybe donating jewelry for a sale. That's an idea we are going to explore. Probably later in the fall, we'll have more of a plan for that. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, if you would like to help keep the show going through your donations, because it is a listener-supported show and we don't make any money on it right now, you can do so in a few ways. You can donate to us through PayPal. If you go to our website, twoartsygals.com, there is a PayPal donate button, and you can donate a one-time amount, or you can set it up to do a monthly amount. We recently got a donation from super listener Lois, and thank you so much. It was a very generous donation, and she is awesome. And because of her, we're going to be able to afford a little bit of advertising. You can also support us by buying something for us from our Amazon wish list. If you want to go through that list and see if there is a product that you would like to see us experiment with or talk about, you can do that also through our website. There is an Amazon wish list button. You can push it and you can go there. I try to keep it updated according to our wish list or our episode list. So it changes off and on. So if you don't see anything that interests you now, check back later. There might be something else. You can also support us just by spreading the word about Two Artsy Gals. Tell people about us. Tell your friends. Tell everybody. Share us on your social media. Speaking of social media, we're on all of them. Well, all of them that I understand. You can follow us on the Facebooks, which is where we're the most active. We also tweet, so we're on Twitter. We're also on the Instagrams, and of course we have our Pinterest account for the show. So we're Two Artsy Gals in all of those places. So go look for us. Alrighty, here is the interview with Angela, and I hope you enjoy it as much as we did. Hey everybody, this is Katie.
This is Lonnie.
And you're listening to Two Artsy Gals! Yay! There are 3 of us today. And we're hanging out here with Angela Whitlock, and Teresa Roehr is just here to be awesome. And she'll have stuff to say to you, though. Because she's pretty awesome. Things to say.
I think she's probably an artsy gal, too.
She's an artsy. She does all kinds of artsy shit. But we're having fun.
Like cool Barbie videos.
Yeah.
And cowgirl aprons.
What was your Pirates and Rock Stars? Was that
Rock Stars and Pirates,
yeah.
It's still around. And here's Cricket.
And here's the doggy. Jingle, jingle.
Your dog is so much quieter than my dog, though. So no one will hear. So, but yeah, so I guess we just start. Tell us what you do.
I am a goldsmith, and that's what I do for a day job. I've been a goldsmith since 1996, so 20 years.
So, for those
Awesome.
of us who are not in the know, what is a goldsmithing?
Goldsmithing is, I can do all sorts of different things on any given day. I do a lot of ring sizing, chain repairs, stone setting, custom design. We get all sorts of interesting requests too. People bring in dog's teeth that have made into a necklace, and
cool. Wow.
one time I made a dog's dew claws into a pair of earrings, and
That's really cool.
yeah, fun stuff. So you never know what a day's
Yeah, my
gonna
brain's
bring.
churning ideas.
Do all sorts of cool stuff with your whatever you want to have made into a piece of jewelry.
Like your kid's baby teeth?
Baby teeth. We've
No
done
way.
kids' baby teeth.
We talked about that, like, when
Wow.
our sentimental jewelry episode
Mm-hmm.
with the Victorian hair work. We talked about some teeth and what have you.
Yes, I loved that episode because the first time I saw that was at the lighthouse. I can't remember how to pronounce it. Yaquina, down by
Yaquita?
yeah.
I think that's...
I was touring the lighthouse and they had a big Victorian hairwork picture.
Oh.
I was
I'm going to have to go see that.
fascinated by
I didn't know
Yeah.
that was a thing.
Oh my god, it was
There.
amazing. Yeah.
That's
Wow.
amazing. I just want to make sure that we're recording. Okay, we are.
I know.
We've done that. I don't know.
We're still getting used to this portable thing.
Yeah, this is only
Yeah.
the second time we've used it, so it
So
works
fun.
awesome though.
I'm so glad we're here. This is so cool.
I know.
I'm so glad you're here. It's good to see your
Yay.
faces. 'Cause, so during the day I work as a goldsmith, and then evenings I come home and I make jewelry in my workshop here. And I discovered Teresa introduced me to your podcast, and so
Aw,
I've been
thanks.
listening from the very beginning. And I'll work really, really late nights. And my husband goes to bed, and I'm just listening to you guys, and it just has kept me company.
That's so awesome.
That's so
It
cool.
makes me feel
And
good to
I
think
keep
that,
a
like,
little notebook by my workbench as I'm soldering on things, and then I have to stop. I'm like, oh, I got to try to go to this place, or I got to try this technique. Just whatever you guys are talking about. I just keep a little notebook of
Awesome.
things I want to do.
it's so funny because I don't like the people I interact with every day are not people that listen to my podcast. Like I put it on my
Yeah, they
mom's
don't listen to
phone. She
podcasts
never
at
listens to.
Mm-hmm.
Like most people are like podcasts.
Yeah, my mom still is. It's a radio show, so you're on the radio? And I'm like, no.
See, I tried to explain it to my grandma. It's like radio, but on the internet. She goes, "You're on the radio," and now
Yeah.
I just give up. Grandma just tells people I'm on the radio. Yep,
Yes,
Grandma, that's
I
exactly
am.
what
Can
I
you
am.
hear these smooth pipes?
Woo!
Woo!
Now you're gonna make me do my 70s DJ voice.
Disco stew.
Right? That's funny. We were on a cruise once, and the guy was Captain Lars, and that's how he. I don't know if you've been on a cruise, but they do they announce the captain comes on, and he's all Captain Lars here, and I'm like, oh my god, he sounds like a 70s DJ guy coming to you from the south deck, and I'm like, holy shit! It's either that or like porn's gonna happen pretty soon.
Well, that's a good cruise, right?
Yeah.
You got your money.
Not
for
with
it?
your in-laws.
Oh no!
Oh.
Bad cruise. Bad cruise. That's not the Disney cruise I was dreaming of.
No. Although my niece did walk in on my father-in-law.
Oh, no.
In, he'd gotten out of the shower.
Oh.
He's like, God damn it, knock. And she's like, lock the door, Grandma. And he's like, you're in my room, knock. She comes out, I saw Grandpa's balls. She's going to kill me for saying that. He's actually the one that sang our theme song.
Oh, I love your theme
I love
song.
it too. She did such a good job.
I just gave her lyrics, and I'm like, write a song.
It's so great. So during the summer, our niece is living with us because she's working right over here in Seaside. She stays with us 5 nights a week. And so I'll be working away, and she'll come home from work, and she'll get out the coloring books and the gel pens, and she'll lay on the floor, and she's singing along, unicorns and glitter.
How old's your niece?
She's 19.
Okay, good. But she can listen to us.
Yeah.
sing. So, Actually, before we started recording, you were just talking about your schooling. And I think that's pretty interesting. And I think that listeners would like to know, like, kind of what's involved, what you have to learn, what skills you need to be able to do metalsmithing.
Gosh, I feel like I'm still learning. I really do. I mean, it's been 20 years and I feel like I'm still learning stuff all the time. But I went to a little school. Actually, the first class I took was, I used to work at a bead store in Portland in Hillsdale. And I learned a lot about beadwork but I found myself always fascinated with, we would get in sterling silver rings and, bezel set stones. And I always found myself fascinated with, how do they do that? I mean, I understand the beadwork, but how do you create this thing?
Yeah.
And so I took a class through PCC. I was going to Sylvania at the time, and I was taking all sorts of things to try to get a, associate's degree, but nothing was really exciting. And then when I walked into this class, it was just a non-credit Thursday night at Tigard High School. And I just got this feeling inside of me like, oh, this is what I need to be doing. I mean, we were using a big, huge, those propane tanks that camping stove tanks. We were using those to solder jewelry together with, and, just using got our whole body into it. Very different than the little torch I use now. But I thought that should be how I feel about what I'm going to be doing with the rest of my life. I should be excited about it. But, so then I found a little school in Aloha that doesn't exist anymore, but it was a 6-month, pretty intensive class. And he touched on a little bit of repair, a little bit on working with wax. We did some casting.
I want to learn lost wax casting.
It's very cool process. It's very exciting. I've seen it being done. I don't personally do it, myself anymore, but, every time I watch it being done, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's neat.
Yeah, it's like, how's it going to turn out? It's going to turn out great, but it's like you're so excited to take the plaster away and see the product. And, I found at first what I found really difficult to learn was soldering. That reduced me to tears so many times.
Yeah, my soldering technique could use some work.
I've got some total tips for you too.
Oh, really? Because luckily all mine's electronics, and I close it up inside of art, so you don't have to see it. But I want to know how to solder pretty.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. I have an apprentice right now where I work, and I've never really taught anybody before. I just do by feel. So when I'm helping him out, I find myself having to put words and really think about, now, why do I do it this way, and why does it work like this? And so it's challenging me to verbalize and understand why things work the way that they do.
That's really tiring, isn't it? When you have to teach, because like to get it out of your head.
To get it out of my head and vocalize it. It's like, oh my God.
It's so hard, I think, sometimes to train people. Challenging.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know about you, but when I'm in the zone and I'm doing something, I'm all in here. I get really quiet.
Yes. Yeah.
I have a lot of conversations, but they're
all inside.
Well, that's not true. Kurt says I mumble all the time. He says I'm like a mad scientist up there. But I don't think I'm saying anything that's like helpful to anyone.
Yeah.
Mostly I'm just swearing under my breath, I bet.
I saw a pin on Pinterest that I had to repin. It said something like, because I crochet too, it said something like, if you only knew how many swear words went into every stitch in this blanket I made you.
Right? Yeah. Swear words and cat hair.
Did you make this?
I did.
It's so cute.
This was the only thing I ever made for myself, because I crochet and I give things away. I'm working on a baby gift for my neighbors right now. But I crochet and I give it away, and I all of a sudden was like, I never make anything for me. So this took me like 6 years to complete.
Yeah. One of our listeners, Keely the Awesome, sent me a box of just random shit that she did. There's like this really awesome book on gynecology and gynecologic nursing.
I saw your picture.
Wow. Yeah. From like the fucking 40s or something.
Wow.
Like that. And, but she threw in these 2 really beautiful skeins of yarn. And that is going to be, I can't decide if I'm going to make a hat or a scarf, but it's like she looked at those and thought, these are Katie's colors.
Yeah.
and they're my colors. So I haven't decided
cool.
what I'm going to make, because I haven't made anything for myself in a really long time either.
Mm-hmm.
I always make gifts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give it away. Yeah.
Yep. Me too. It's fun, I think, when you're making something for someone, because then you're thinking about them the whole time, and like, it gives me a different energy than making stuff for myself.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, it's like motivating.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is going to be awesome because it's for this person I love or whatever.
Or you do I'm trying to start my shit now, because I don't know if you remember last year at Christmas time, I made myself insane.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Because I think I schedule it all out. And I'm like, okay, I'll take a month to do
the same
this.
thing?
And it'll take me about 3 weeks to do this. And I'm totally wrong. I'm like way overshooting. So I did I did the lapgan with owls on it for my grandma.
I saw the pictures.
And then,
so
what the fuck
cute.
else did I make? Oh, I never finished the sweater I was knitting for my son. Because, teach myself how to knit. I knit one fucking thing, and all of a sudden, I think I can knit a sweater in a month.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's ambitious.
Because why not?
Right?
Yeah.
Because I should just know how to do all the things all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. I think that all creative people I think that we do that, though.
Yeah. I go through phases where I get so many ideas that sometimes I can't sleep at night. My brain's just like, oh my God, I gotta do this, and this. And it drives me insane. And then I'll go through stretches where I can't think of a fucking thing to do.
Yes.
And then I get sad and scared. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God, is
Or
it
then
all
you
dried up?
Yeah.
You have
Those
a
times
thought in
are
your
so
head,
scary.
and then you sit down to do it, and you're like, none of it's jiving.
None of
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Oh, yes. I was having this last week where everything I tried failed. Like,
I know you sent me a text, a really
my
sad text.
God.
Like, I can't do anything.
you think, oh, this is going to be great, and you have this vision of it, and then it's just shit. Like, there's nothing, and that was happening, like,
Did you
over
finish
and
your cool
over.
shower curtain?
Yes.
Okay.
I finished my cool shower, and that turned out great.
We've been playing with
And
all
now I'm
the free
waiting for
Mod
the-
Podge.
Yeah.
That we've been trying to think of Mod Podge. I'm not making a sentence right now. My mouth just stopped doing what it was supposed to be doing. We've been using all the products, and I think that's what you were
Yeah, I was
using it
trying to
for.
do photo transfers, and they were just not.
Not cooperating with you?
No.
No. I get
That's
that.
okay, though, That's part of the
But
process,
I think
right?
it's good to know that everybody has the same, everybody has that.
Yeah.
No matter what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No matter, that fucking dress. I've been sewing since I was 10 years old. I cannot even tell you how many times I tore that fucking dress apart that I just
got a
made.
half-made one out there.
It's like, you motherfucker!
Yeah.
Like, I'm screaming. I jabbed a fucking seam ripper under my thumbnail.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Under the nail.
That was not awesome. I peed a little when I did it. I'm not gonna lie. It hurt so bad. But just because it wasn't cooperating with me. Nothing was cooperating.
It's the most frustrating, sad feeling.
It's
Just
just
like,
you know how to do
how
it.
it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
I'm wasting supplies. I don't know.
My idea's going flaccid.
I don't like anything flaccid ever. I'm just making sure our recording's not flaccid.
Yeah.
I get all paranoid because we've lost you get jibber jabbery, and then we've lost we've had to be I'm sorry, we're gonna have to do this all over again.
So what is your favorite jewelry to make, or your favorite jewelry thing?
Well, right now I'm in a phase of, because I'm a goldsmith and I work with precious metals all day, and diamonds and sapphires. I work with really beautiful things. I'm in a phase right now of making things out of copper and brass and sterling
And it's so pretty!
And sea glass. I have a bunch of
love
sea
sea
glass
glass.
that I collected when I went to a place in Northern California. My husband and I
Isn't there a beach that's
there's a beach
yeah.
in Fort Bragg. It's Glass Beach. And I thought, well, how much glass could there really be? There's glass.
How?
Everywhere. Because I guess in the 30s and 40s, they used to dump everything into the ocean. Cars and garbage and whatever they
And there was actually, I think, a glass factory that was
there might have
dumping
been.
their waste there.
Yeah. And so it's just all started tumbling up. The first time I was there, I had to scrape through the glass to find rocks.
I want to go to there.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I've been there at another time when the tide must have been a little bit different. It wasn't quite the same as I had remembered it.
I'm so glad you didn't try to carry that whole thing up there.
But yeah, so I just try to make like working with organic-y looking things.
Yeah, like I was looking for rings and noticed that a lot of people use raw diamonds now.
I love that.
That's so cool.
I love
yeah,
that.
it's just pretty. Yeah, just the elements as they are, as they come out of the earth or whatever.
Things that look really handmade and unfinished and kind of raw.
Yeah.
Looking.
I love that too.
Okay,
Yeah.
you can scroll through all of her gorgeous.
Oh my
God.
god!
I know. There's like the ones that the ones that you did. These ones are singing songs to me.
Those are some of my favorites. Just cut out in copper discs and copper triangles.
I just love the
pound
shapes.
them into the shapes.
Yeah, I have a dapping block which has different size forms, to make the domes.
Cool.
Yeah, let's talk about tools. Like, what tools do you use for your
I love
specific
tools.
I do too.
So what I've found that is challenging me creatively right now is at my home shop, I don't have the same kind of tools that I have at work. I mean, we've got all sorts of awesome stuff at work.
You've got the big deal shit.
We got the big deal stuff, and we've got a laser welder, and we've got...
What? I didn't know this. Does it go pew, pew, pew?
Oh, I can make those sounds in my head.
I stand next to it and make them while she works.
I'm like,
phew, get that ring, girl.
But at home, I'm much more limited with my tools, and it's actually kind of cool because it's like I have to make myself work with what I have. I do have a torch, and you saw the tanks that I have in there, so I can solder.
She's the cutest teeny tiny torch, you guys.
It looks like a dental tool. I thought it was like the air water
dental
thing.
torch.
Which is much different than what I used, the big propane tank.
Yeah.
Was the first class that I
So you can do a lot more detail.
Fine detailed work.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think saw frame, files are essential. I have a flex shaft, of course, that's driven by the foot pedal. So I have different kind of rubber wheels to do polishing, or different kinds of shapes of burrs to make different textures or to clean out certain areas. But
cool.
Yeah, I am kind of enjoying the limited palette of my tools right now, because it's just kind of forcing me to make things that are imperfect because I don't have polishing equipment in my home, because polishing is such a dirty job.
Don't you use like that gritty stuff,
and it's oil based, but then it can fly all over the place, and you have to use a respirator.
Carpet in your room.
Carpeting in my studio, I don't want to have that. And if I did have polishing equipment, I would do it out in the garage. My dream is one day to have a studio that I don't care what kind of a mess it turns into, and I don't have carpeting that I worry about spilling paint or anything on the floor. But right now, because I don't have polishing equipment, it's
not that big of a deal.
It's not that big of a deal. I just make things rough and raw. Yeah.
Is it like a trade secret to know how you wrap the glass and stuff?
Oh no, that's just a simple bezel setting. So I order bezel wire in strips. There's a company that I get all of my supplies from. It's called Rio Grande. I think some people say Rio Grande, some people say Rio Grande, but it's a jewelry supply company. And I just love everything that they have there.
So making mental notes. I'm going to have to go to that website.
Yeah, go to that website. Check it out. They have everything they have laser welders that you could order from them. They've got just about everything you could think of that you would need. But I just order the bezel strip. And I wrap it around. It's soft, so it's a fine silver, so it's soft. And I just shape it around whatever form I'm putting the bezel around, and then solder it together, clip it, solder it together. And then, like on that pair of bearings, I soldered it directly to a copper sheet. So I order copper sheet and just, like big pieces of paper. Except you can get it in different gauges, different thicknesses. So then I solder it directly to the copper. And then cut out the shape that I want. And the final thing that I would do after adding ear wires and any sorts of decorations would be to refit the glass into the bezel, and then take a little bezel tool, a little roller tool, and push it over.
Oh, there's a tool.
There's a little handy tool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. That's why
because it looks so neat, and like it's so...
It just finishes it off perfectly.
Yeah,
I love
it's
prong
just-
settings
I smacked
too,
it
but
into
there's
the
just something
doorknob
about
and it
bezel
broke the
settings that
edge
I
as
think is
well.
just so sleek and clean.
Yeah, it's really
Because I'm up with my
pretty.
hands.
So do you make your own wires?
I make
too,
my own
though?
ear wires, so you just order a big roll of, the gauge of wire that you want, and I make those all by hand too.
See, I have a sick
So
mood because now I'm just like going ching ching all the things that I think that I need to have that I don't make jewelry. Why do I need all that?
So
It's
do you,
so fun.
Because
though.
I think I need to have
do you
it.
You
sell
should move to a
your
store.
jewelry like online?
I
or
well,
just
you know, I
local
just
this
this has
galleries?
been something I've been wanting to do for so many years is have my own little line and sell it. I kind of thought about trying Etsy or trying, I think there's an art fire site. But right now what I'm doing is I'm selling through, I have a girlfriend who has a wellness center up in Astoria. So yeah, she's carrying my jewelry up there, and I've sold some pieces, and that's always really, really exciting for me. And then my neighbor I was telling you earlier owns a shoe store here in Seaside, and she started carrying my jewelry last week, and we had a first Saturday art walk last weekend for Seaside, and
Were you busy for that one?
yes, and I sold 8 pieces there.
Nice.
That was
Yay.
very exciting.
Yeah.
So, but for me, it takes such a tremendous amount of time because I'm doing this in my free time.
Yeah.
And so when I'm in the workshop at night, it's like I'm not making dinner. My husband's making dinner for me, which is great. He's really wonderful that way. But I'm ignoring the laundry. I'm ignoring everything else. So I can only do that for so much time.
Yeah.
It's like, I got to go outside and weed on a weekend when the weather's nice. And so it takes a tremendous amount of time. And I kind of like where I'm at right now. I don't know if I want to try Etsy or anything
if
else.
you had to up your production
If I had
or
to up
whatever.
your production, that might make me a little
See,
frantic.
I'm like super anti Etsy. I just have this
with
big
you.
like.
They were fun in the
fucking
beginning,
soul
and
crushing now though because
yeah.
there are.
It's
so
saturated.
saturated.
Yeah.
And now they've opened up the market to mass
Everybody.
production.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It
you
still
don't
has to
know-
be handmade goods, but there used to be a line where, okay, you've built your, like Etsy was a stepping stone, and you build your work up and then you move on to something else, but now these people want to stay in the market, so they've changed the rules because they sell enough stuff that they've had to hire people now, and that they're finding ways to produce more than just one at a time. And
Right.
so it's super it's just oversaturated. And I have not found, I don't know about you, but in any of the tools that they give you, you can pay for them to, it didn't make a fucking difference.
It didn't make a difference
It didn't
when
do
I was on
anything.
Etsy. No.
So it's just a matter, I feel like when you're on Etsy.
Amazon is doing some homemade
Yeah,
thing.
I don't
It's
even
oh
trust
dear.
that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't trust that. I feel like, especially with my artwork, I think I've said this before, that
Local
you have
craft
to
fairs?
well, and I think you have to see the textural work that I do in person.
Yeah.
I feel like a photograph kind of takes you're not seeing all of what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so it doesn't sell very well in an online venue. People are like, oh, that's cool, but when people look at it in person, they're like, oh,
Yeah.
I see what this is.
Well, and with jewelry too, people want
I
to try
think
it on.
people want to
Yeah.
pick it
Yeah,
up.
you want to
Yeah.
put it on and see how heavy the earrings are, if it's going to work for you, or if the bracelet fits your wrist right, or whatever. So that's more of a hands-on
Yeah, and that's the
kind
thing.
of
I wouldn't buy jewelry that I didn't know was going to fit me.
Right.
I never buy jewelry online.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it is. I think it's a personal purchase.
It
It's
is. Yeah.
Let me see. I was going to ask you something else, and then I got all sidetracked on the Etsy thing. Because I wanted to give my Etsy speech again. I have this little Etsy rant that I give to everybody. I'm like, no!
And I imagine with Seaside being like a tourist town, if your stuff was in little gift shops and stuff, that would be a great way to...
So
Yeah.
people can kind of take
There are
home
a lot of
little-
places.
Yeah,
like that.
locally made.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Little something to remember
Because
their
when I
trip.
go on little beach trips, I'm always looking for that
Oh my
kind of
God.
thing, like a
I'm
something
the
sentimental
worst.
to take home.
I need souvenirs.
I know, I love, yeah.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
Actually, 'cause I bought fucking souvenirs when we came to see you in Astoria.
That's
And I'm like,
like a magnet.
Kurt's
or
like,
something?
really? You grew up here. You grew up on the coast. Why are you I said, I didn't grow up with this into the coast. He's like, but you've been here. And I'm like, well, yeah, but
And I'm here now.
there's a thing. It's a paperweight with a fucking
Jellyfish
Jellyfish
inside.
inside. That's what it
Aw,
was. I got it. And he's like, all right. So you're just in the 2 stores.
Yes,
right
just
now.
in 2 places.
You're selling
right
it.
now.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun. I like doing it. I just love my sit down shop time at home.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, you guys have kept me. It's so cool having you. You're
That's
here
so
in my
neat.
house right now.
It's so weird how
It's
people
like
say that to
I
me.
feel like I know you because I've listened to all the episodes from start to.
so
I think I'm at
cool.
like 105 or 106 right now.
Oh.
But yeah, when I
Because we
first-
mentioned you in a couple of
I
them
know. I
recently.
heard the
So-
one. Yeah. There was when I first was researching or searching on Google for you guys. I punched in 2 artsy gals, and Google's like, "Do you mean 2 easy gals?"
Well,
I was like, I don't know that well.
some might say that about me, but
Hilarious. That's
Oh
the
my God,
other
the crack is-
podcast.
is that a thing? I'm gonna have to look for that.
2 easy gals.
Here we go.
Teresa's on
Teresa's
it.
on it. She's on the mother.
I'm sure that's a fancy website.
I have to get rid of
Might
James
have to pay
McAvoy.
Why do you have to get rid of him?
Well, no, he's always just on Google for
I
me.
was like,
I'm
what
like,
are you doing?
images. He's streaming.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? It doesn't hold. It just when I put 2 artsy, you guys just populate.
Because we're awesome.
Because I've already been to see them.
You've been to see us.
Who are the 2 easy gals?
2 easy
Okay,
gals.
well let's
Who
look
are
that up.
those
2
gals?
easy. Wait, hold on. It doesn't show up. It says 2 easy braids, 2 easy pieces glitch. This last one's a good one though. Everybody perk your ears up. 2 easy peach cobbler.
Ooh.
Yeah, see? Good times. All right. No, it didn't come up.
That's kind of funny then.
It
That
was
was just
funny.
so weird.
Do you mean 2 easy gals? No.
You
But
know-
then I found you, and it was awesome, and I listened to you all the time.
Good.
And you know, actually, there was this one time I was listening to you, and I was sitting there. I had one of those little wire brushes in my flex shaft.
Mhm.
And I'm wire brushing this piece of metal, and you started telling the story about your brother getting that
Oh,
wire thing.
Did you put on eye protection?
I did. I was like,
Good.
God damn it, I know better than this. And then you told the story. I was like, okay.
That was the most awesome and horrible thing I've ever seen in my life.
Ugh.
Because they use like a little dental drill and they drill into your eyeball where the metal's stuck and then the metal comes out. The drilling spot. And I watched him do it. I was like, oh my God. Then my brother got mad because I was like, dude. And he's like, all right, you gotta leave. Like he made me leave the room. But it's crazy.
Oh, it's horrible.
Doing creative stuff can be dangerous, people.
It can be dangerous.
Sorry, I'm just gonna pick my nose.
All right.
I got a boogie. Maybe. I don't know. Do you know when I edited the episode that played this week, yesterday, I was like, did I just end our podcast by saying, I gotta poop, we gotta go? I did. I said, we gotta go, I gotta
to
poop.
it yet.
It's like, well, alrighty then. People needed to know
Keeping
that.
it real, Katie.
Just keeping it real. But I think it's really cool the way you go from like, because I see, like, I follow your work also on Instagram, so I see like more classic jewelry,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're awesome, like raw. Cool. I love that feel.
Oh, thank you.
Me too.
But it's a
yeah,
cool, like,
beautiful.
Thank you.
It's a cool difference.
It's fun. I love doing it. I'm just enjoying the whole thing of not having to be. I mean, I really take pride in the work that I do during the day, and I try to do things very nicely and neatly, and I'm learning so much every day about what I'm doing. But I'm just loving like leaving little solder lumps on the rings that I make and not caring about it.
Your solder
and-
tips. I want to know your solder tips.
Oh gosh, it would be. Gosh, we should do a solder episode sometime.
Dude, I want to, actually.
That could be like a whole thing in and of itself.
That's on my list. That's on the master ideas list.
good.
Because I do some soldering, so
Mm-hmm.
so I play with my ex. My ex is a roofer,
Uh-huh.
and so he brings me copper scraps from like the copper flashing and
Oh,
stuff.
nice, yeah.
So I screw. It's really heavy, crazy copper, but I use it to, like, I like to force it to get a patina,
Mm-hmm.
and then put it on. Like, I used some as a plate on an altered journal with like the name of the book or something like that.
Nice.
But I figured out how to make a fume chamber.
See, that's what I want to start getting into. Is I see all these crazy patinas, and
It's
I don't
super
have
easy
anything
to do
set up yet.
Oh, no, you just need Tupperware.
Uh-huh.
You just need Tupperware, and you make a wire, 2 wires running through your Tupperware so you can set your piece of copper on it, and then you soak that. So you want it, of course, you want it like brushed, because sometimes copper has a coating on it. You want to,
like the plastic coating.
Yeah, you want to sand that down, and you want to really wash it so you don't have any fingerprints on it.
Right.
At all, because the oils will interfere in the patina. Then you set it down on the wire, and you sprinkle salt on it. You leave a little bit of wet and sprinkle salt on it, and then you put ammonia on a paper towel folded up in the bottom.
Oh, there's my dog.
Well, hello. And you put the lid on it.
We're not
and then
hurting
just leave
no
it.
animals being harmed right now.
Yes.
And the ammonia fumes make it. That's what I found works the best, because I've experimented with a few different ways to do it, and it gets like that, almost like the color of Lonnie's sweater, like that really pretty blue.
Yeah, the blue-green.
It's so much fun to do.
Yeah. I've pinned a bunch of tutorials for those kinds of things. I just haven't put anything together yet, but I want to fiddle around with that because I just love it.
Super fun.
Love the patina.
What are your favorite? I saw you had diamond glaze in there. What are your favorite products?
I love the shit out of that stuff. Oh my god, I love that stuff. Products for like jewelry or
just
like
what you're using and what you do, because you do also some mixed media artwork.
Yeah. So I love going to Joann's and just getting. Shut up. Sorry. Be quiet. What's going on? I think she sees her daddy coming home. Oh no, there's a guy running up the street. She's telling us about it. He's jogging.
It's a danger jogger. Fucking danger joggers.
With the neon green shorts. Yeah. So cute. So I love getting the little bottles of acrylic paint from Joann's, the ones that are like $1.95.
Like the cheapy ones.
Yeah. I love that because I have a whole stack of old journals that I've kept for the past 20 years. It's like, oh, maybe one day I'm going to read through these again. So I start picking through. I'm like, oh my God, this is depressing.
Right?
No way. I won't ever want anybody to see this stuff. So I've started gessoing all the pages, gluing them together and painting them. And I'm just going to make altered books. And
that's kind of a cool way to move forward.
And not burn it and not throw it away, but just be like, okay, I'm done with this.
Yeah,
I'm just going to paint over it. And if somebody cares enough to peel the glue pages apart and read my depressing stuff, that would be really weird. And they can do it if they want.
I found a box of stuff that I hadn't opened in probably 17, 18 years. And it had one of my journals from when my son was a baby, when I had really severe postpartum depression. And I was like, oh God. Because I thought, oh, this is sweet. It'll be like new mom stuff. When I was learning how to take care, I'm like, oh my God. Like, this is terrible. It made me feel bad. I was like, oh my God, poor 22-year-old me. That's awful.
Yeah, move it along.
I did throw that one the fuck away. I was like, nope. But I should have fucking turned it into an altered journal.
So over it.
Do that.
Yeah. That's a good idea. And I also, you're a big fan of the Caron Simply Soft. So much.
Yes, that's my favorite acrylic yarn. It is so soft.
It's a good price. It works up really nicely.
Yeah. And it's not like scritchy, gross, cheap yarn.
The grandma
yarn.
Yeah, the red heart.
No.
Yeah.
That is my favorite. The only complaint I have about that is sometimes it's a little slick.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just get going too fast. I finally found my crochet hook, by the way.
Oh.
I'm almost done with my husband's birthday Afghan that I had to put down because I've never worked with that great big, like a giant crochet, like as big as my thumb, the crochet hook, and then like the big fat yarn. Mm-hmm. Your wrists get really tired.
Very.
Like I'm like, this is going to be cool. It'll be so fast because it's such a big yarn, but my wrists are like, oh my God, you're 43 and you're getting arthritis. But I lost the hook. For like a month and a half, I've been looking for this crochet hook. It was in the Afghan. Like I weaved it in there. I'm like tearing couch cushions apart and pulling the couch back and digging through bags of things, and I thought I was going to have to go buy a new one so I could finish his damn blanket, because now it's a thing. He's like, are you ever going to finish my birthday present? It's summer. You don't need a blanket.
Right. Not really.
Right.
He's like, I want my gift.
I made Teresa a big
I'm your
crochet
gift.
rug
Yeah,
for
she
Christmas
did.
last year.
And
with
it's
the-
still in my kit. It
with the
sits
big
in
old
the
crochet hook.
kitchen floor, and I feel bad about it that I stand on it, but you said it was okay.
That's what it's for.
Yeah.
It's a rug.
I just went and bought a bunch of bed sheets from like Goodwill and fabric scraps from, the remnants from Joann's. And just
Yeah.
started ripping them up into little strips and then made crochet yarn balls out of them. And I just sat and I was watching the Dead Files on Netflix.
That's right.
That was my favorite.
Wait, what's the Dead File?
The Dead Files is awesome.
You're not
But they
no.
don't.
Oh my god, you
They
should be
don't
on top of this.
have it on Netflix
Not
anymore.
right
They took it
now.
Son of
off.
a beach.
Isn't it on
It's
what?
the best.
The investigative channel or something like that?
Travel channel. It's on the Travel channel.
Is it for
And it's
science
usually
stuff?
late at night.
No.
Well, so this woman is a medium. Amy
Allen?
Allen is her name, and she has a partner who's a police officer. And so they'll get calls for these paranormal experiences that people are having in their homes. And they will go and check out the house separately. She goes and does a walk at night or whenever, and she picks up on her impressions of what's going
To
on.
ghosts and stuff. And
Her partner, who's a retired NYPD, will go and he'll start investigating like the facts about the house, what happened on the land, who lived there, any murders.
Is this
that
like
happened in
real
the area.
stuff or is it a
It's
fake
real
show?
stuff.
No, it's a
No,
real
yeah. And so at the end, then they'll get together with the homeowners and she'll say what she found and the cop will say what he found and it gels, it matches up and it gives you goosebumps up and down. It's like, whoa.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I crocheted your rug while I was
Yeah.
watching the Dead Files.
And she's like, oh, this prison, this is built on top of a demon site. I
Yeah.
see why this is happening here.
Yeah.
Wow. And then he comes in and he's like, oh, this used to be an Indian burial ground.
There was a
Wow.
massacre here on these grounds. 600 people were slain in 1867.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's why you've got a demon in your closet.
And Katie's quiet right now because she's
I'm
Googling this shit.
No, I use my notes on my phone, so I just made a note of like the Dead Files, so I can look for it later.
So I was watching that on Netflix, but they had a limited time with it before they were going to pull it. So I was like,
So you had to
marathoning
like
the Dead Files.
Yeah, you had to binge that shit.
Yeah, totally.
But is it still on cable? So
Yeah, you can still find it on True TV. Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes I
How
turn
funny.
on the
I'll
TV late
look
at
for
night,
that.
Friday or Saturday night. I'm like, oh, good. I hope I haven't
Oh,
seen this one
Do you
yet.
know what I'm gonna do when I get home?
What?
I'm gonna go to my fancy Comcast remote and go the Dead Files.
Yeah.
Into it, and it's gonna find that shit for me.
It is.
Mhm.
And you're going to be impressed.
Kurt won't use the talkie part of our remote, but he sat on it and accidentally turned on the closed captioning the other day, and we couldn't figure out how the fuck to turn it off. I was like, oh wait, let's try this. And I grabbed it and I go, turn off closed captioning. And it went, boop. And he's like, holy shit, that's awesome. Now
It
just
is
needs a
awesome.
laser so it can go pew pew pew.
Yeah.
Maybe you should try that into it and see what it does.
I should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See what comes up. That would be rad.
All of a sudden there's this like burning hole in your wall and you're like, oops. No, I'm just kidding.
That would not be the first time there was a burnt hole in our wall for something I did, so, you know.
I know this is totally backtracking, but I have a dumb soldering question. Or a non... Yeah. I imagine you solder with the fine metals then, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like with gold or with sterling or whatever
Yeah.
metal you're using.
Yeah.
Okay. That was my silly
So
question.
what do you use for your solder? Like do you use
Yeah, is it like
regular,
a
or is
gold
it
wire?
gold solder, or is
They
it...
can come in different ways. You can get it as a wire, you can get it as a paste, or my preference is to get it, they come in little squares of metal. So you cut them into the amounts that you want. So I'll just cut and make little chips.
So you use that instead of like the lead solder that you would use in
Right.
electronics.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
Exactly.
see, that's what I
Yeah.
was like, oh, it must be fancy because it's going on a, like...
Yeah, so
Yeah,
you
a
can
nice
get
piece of
sterling
jewelry.
silver. So when you're ordering, you order, and it comes in different melts. So hard, medium, easy.
easy will be the lowest temperature flow. Some metals you can get it in extra easy. So depending on how many solder joints you have, you want to start with the hardest. And then if you have other things to solder on next to it, then you would go down to medium or easy. Just depending, you have to kind of figure out like how many things you're going to be soldering and how close they are to each other. But yeah, with gold, you get gold solders. 18 karat gold, you would get, either 18 karat yellow or white. So it is the metal, but it's alloyed with things to make it melt at a lower temperature than the metal itself.
So what's the difference between yellow gold and white gold?
As it comes out of the ground, there's no difference. Gold is gold. It comes out of the mine as gold.
So all the rose gold, Black Hills gold,
is all
white
alloyed.
gold, it's all gold and then it's mixed with some shit.
Yeah, so rose gold would be alloyed with copper to give it the rosy color. White gold is alloyed with nickel and other things to make it white. But if you'll notice,
underneath my nail because I have a nickel allergy.
Yes, that would be why. And there's things that you can do actually for something that you could do at home is you could just lacquer the inside with clear nail polish to keep it from touching your finger. Some people who have pretty severe nickel allergies have to move to platinum because that's pretty pure.
Already made my case for platinum.
That's why I'm not wearing my engagement ring. It's so sad. It's white gold and it just leaves.
Oh my god, it's beautiful too.
But I have a scar and I'm like,
But you get ring eczema too. I hate that.
Yeah, so I found that the dishwasher safe Mod Podge actually was the best coating. It lasted longer than I tried clear nail polish first but yeah, I might have to, I don't know what I'm going to do. Because I think you can take them in to have them coated, right?
You can have them rhodium dipped, and that's what people do. It's kind of an industry standard because white gold starts out as yellow gold, and it's alloyed to make it white. It still has a yellow tint to it.
And I found the older that mine gets, the yellower your
Exactly. So that's the rhodium. There's a rhodium coating that you can put over the top. And you wouldn't be allergic to the rhodium because that doesn't have nickel in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that would be a really good solution.
Yeah.
It's not very expensive. I think it usually should run like $35 to $45 a time.
So what if you wanted to get it coated in platinum?
That would be the rhodium. Yeah.
Is that it?
Yep. That's in the platinum family.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And they can do it even if there's little diamonds and stuff in the band.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm like, that's all magic to me. I don't even, I can't even conceive of it.
It's just electroplating. There's a solution that you dip it into. First, you clean it really well because there can't be any fingerprints or anything like that on it. And then you send it through an acid bath and sit it in acid for about a minute to kind of microscopically score the surface so that the rhodium has something to stick to. And then you stick it in, there's current going through, there's a little anode that you clip your wires to, and then a different one to the ring, and stick it in the little rhodium bath, and it just...
I'm envisioning a whole How Stuff Works thing happening in my head while you're saying that. I can see it all, because I love that show.
That's cool. And so if there's like a diamond or a gem on it that doesn't stick to that, and it just, so it only coats
cool. They
the
don't
metal.
even have to take the
They don't have to
stone
take
out.
the stone
Yeah.
out. That's cool. I was
a
wondering.
whole piece in there, yeah.
Well, that's happening.
Yeah. Ooh.
Maybe next time I come down, I'll just leave my ring.
Yeah.
And fix it up.
Yeah.
If I can get it off my swollen fucking finger.
It's so warm and humid right
That's
now.
your
Mine
We've
are
got a
all-
spray for that.
You got a spray for that?
We do. Yep.
Is it olive oil? No, I'm just kidding.
No, but it's like lanolin or something.
and
Aloe and vitamin E or something. Yeah. A spritz. Slide it off.
I got mad at my husband and took my rings off a couple weeks ago. But then I felt guilty. So I was going to put them back on before he got home. It took some effort to get the motherfuckers off. And then I felt guilty and I couldn't get them back on for like 3 days. Until the weather cooled down a little bit and my fingers stopped swelling.
Did he ask why they were off?
He actually didn't even notice until I said something. Look, I don't feel too bad because we'd only been married for about 6 months and one of our friends came to him in a panic because he's a DJ at a strip club and he takes his ring off while he's at work.
Oh.
And he lost his ring and he borrowed my husband's.
What?
My husband let him wear it for like 3 days until he found. I'm like, wait a minute. Where's your fucking ring? When he came in and he was like,
Josh
I
has
loaned it to so-and-so. And I'm like, because I'm not going to say his name. I'm not going to throw him under the bus.
No, but
he goes, I said, wait, you loaned him and then he told me the whole story. I'm like, so basically, he's being an ass and you're fucking giving him a way out. I'm not okay with that. He's like, I didn't think you'd care. You like him. And I'm like, okay, there are limits to my like.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't have to like his behavior.
Yeah. He should keep his fucking ring on. He's at work. Jeez. What an a-hole. Well, now I have
Did you make your ring?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, no.
Isn't her ring amazing?
So
though?
pretty,
It's
yes.
beautiful. My husband surprised me with that, and Halloween's my favorite holiday. Just
Ever.
like the rest of us.
Aw.
Ever. I didn't show you my Halloween closet. Skeletons in my closet.
Oh my god.
Awesome.
So I'm totally taking a picture of her Halloween.
Yeah,
Oh my
we
God.
will have to
My
show you
Halloween
this, you
closet.
guys. It's fucking great.
But he put
That's
my
awesome.
engagement ring in a plastic pumpkin that I was giving all the candy to the trick-or-treaters in.
Oh, cute.
And I was making dinner, and he was like, oh, what's in here? I was like, I'm making dinner. Don't eat all the candy. I don't know if we have enough for the trick-or-treaters. He's like, what's this? And I reached out, I was like, what the fuck is this? I put candy in here. I didn't see anything dump out of the bags. Is somebody trying to poison our candy? And then I lifted it all the way. I was like, oh, I think I know what that is.
Oh my gosh, that's
Aww.
awesome.
That's sweet.
Oh, that's so romantic. And sweet. You're
I love
right.
it, yeah.
He's a sweet boy.
Cute.
Yes. Georgie. We love Georgie.
Georgie pudding pie. Kiss the girls and make them cry.
Oh, but Angela.
Why do I know that? My mother used to say weird shit like that.
Well, that's an old nursery rhyme.
Dude, I'm channeling my mom. No, but I say shit like I guess as kids these days.
No,
People
you're with
look
the
at me
whole
like,
pun thing
"Who the
right
fuck
now.
you talk-" I
You're telling
am.
dad jokes.
I'm on a
I
pun
know.
kick badly right now
Yeah.
on the Facebooks. I can't get enough of them. It's ugly.
I had a friend on Facebook admit that she doesn't ever get puns. And then people think she's being rude or what, you know what I mean? But she really just,
No,
they don't.
my mom's the same way.
Scott too, sometimes. I'll be
I
like,
can see that about Scott.
I'm like, that was pretty punny, wasn't it? And he's like, I don't know what
No.
you're talking about. Yeah, and I guess there's
That
people that
makes me
just don't
anxious.
get puns, like that think that you're being serious or what. I don't know.
No,
like,
that's
I don't know
like
how.
the
I
joke
don't even can't imagine not
From the
getting
new
puns.
fucking Pee Wee Herman movie, I texted my sister-in-law.
I told her that one.
I
Yes,
love
yes,
that.
yes, headline. And
Well,
if you have to,
oh, yes. Yes.
if you have to explain it, it's no longer a joke.
Yeah.
Now it's a tutorial. Shut up.
Yeah.
I thought that was the best thing I had heard in like years.
Yeah.
I laughed so hard that we had to pause the movie because Kirk didn't hear what was happening. I was snorting and crying, slapping my knee, going, headlines! Oh my god, that's the best ever!
Yeah.
And Kurt's like, that was worth a chuckle, but this is over. Have
It's
you
like
been
you gotta pause and
drinking?
remind you to.
Yeah, I had to listen to
Pee-wee
it again.
delivery too, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was so good.
Also,
Yeah.
I
I
fucking
love
love
that.
Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah.
I do too.
I guess there's a spectrum then of people and how they deal with puns or whatever.
Yeah.
Like some people really love them and some people just don't get them. I
But
don't
you know what? Maybe it's based in some people are really attuned to irony and sarcasm, and other people just.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
and see, my mom
Yeah.
and my brother and my niece
And I
are
love irony and sarcasm
very
so
literal.
much.
Is Scott very literal?
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes.
Like, I'll say shit in front of my niece, and she'll be like, what?
yeah, see, yeah.
Like,
she's
wait
one
a
of those
minute,
people.
why? They're like, no, I didn't mean it literally. Like, I'm being sarcastic. And she's like, I don't even know what that means.
Oh, right.
yeah.
And her dad, my brother's the same way. Like, and he tries to pull off sarcasm, and he's one of those people that tries to pull it off, and then he just sounds fucking mean, and you're like, ow.
Yeah.
You're not sarcasticing, right? And that hurts.
You don't know how to play.
Yeah, that's right.
And then I complained to my mom, because, you know, you're 43, you tell your mommy. My mom doesn't fucking get it either. All three of them are the same way. They're like,
That
Yeah,
hurts.
I'm
It's
just
hard.
over
It's
here
such
dad
a lonely
joking it up.
feeling. It's-
yes. That's how we
Nobody
get
gets my
along.
puns.
Because I know if I say something weird, actually Lonnie catches me and I say things without even meaning to be weird. And she's like, wah, wah. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Teresa and I do the mom jokes.
Well,
There's only one
When
mom
we
joke
say one-
from Napoleon Dynamite. Your mom goes to college.
Oh my god.
Where she shows up at the door.
Because your mom goes to... We do that to each other all the day long.
And we chuckle and nobody else gets it.
No,
It's just
nobody
me
else
and
has to. My son, when he was about 14, had his friends over, and I'm like, word to me, yo. And it was like crickets. I thought it was fucking hilarious. I'm like, get it? Because I'm your mom? Word to your mom, but me because I'm your mom?
She's like, yeah, no, Mom.
Nope. Can you just leave now? Because I'm really embarrassed. Whatever. You don't even know how fucking funny your mom is.
That's right.
I still try to do that. He tells me.
Thank you someday.
He will.
Yeah.
He totally will.
I love the yo thing too. I like the make some cool shit, yo.
You know what?
Yeah.
Now, there's actually a category in my journal right now that is entitled "Make Some Cool Shit, Yo, Do It Now."
That's awesome.
Yes.
I have to thank
The
my
message is getting out there.
yeah, my friend David West, the dick, started saying yo like 15 years ago, and you can't break yourself of it.
Right.
You will. It's a sickness now. You will say yo after everything forever. You can't stop.
I haven't started. So.
Don't stop. Because it's a verbal crack.
I feel like it's just weird coming out of me. Just to be like, yo, what's up?
I
think
was
people
doing
look
it because
at me
I
and
thought
they're
it was like
you're weird.
sarcastic and funny.
Yeah,
Like my
yeah.
sarcasm thing, but yo, yo, yo kind of thing. Because, I
Yeah.
mean, really, I'm wearing skulls and it's like I don't look like a fucking rapper.
A lady rapper.
I'm a 43-year-old mom.
A rapstress or something. I don't know.
I don't
Wasn't
know.
that a Jesse Pinkman thing too?
Yo. Yeah, yeah.
Dude, I'm
on Breaking
so
Bad.
bad
Oh,
on
yeah,
that show.
yeah.
I love that show.
He said it. Yeah.
He's way
so
behind.
good.
That was good.
It was.
Yeah.
He's like, it's blue meth, yo.
Don't be a bitch, yo.
Did you see on Orange is the New Black? We were just talking about that a little while ago, where the gals were talking about TV shows. They're like, yeah, I heard about this show where this professor is making meth and they
Yes.
color it blue. And this, this gal goes, I wouldn't do blue meth. That's not natural.
It's one of the keepless ladies.
Yeah. That's just not natural. I love that show.
Yeah, it's so good. So good.
That's crazy. Well, we should start wrapping this up because
I don't want to.
we have lots of
No.
sidebars today
Yep.
and stuff. But so I wanted to give you a chance to talk a little bit about your mixed media work. Do you sell your mixed media work, or do you just do it for?
Just for fun,
fun?
just because sometimes I think if I don't do things, it'll make me a little nutty, you know?
Yeah,
It's just
no,
like,
that's
I definitely
definitely a
have to
thing.
do, like, when doing so much jewelry, and, like, I spent the last 2 months really focusing on that, and I'm feeling like, oh my god, I gotta paint something
Yeah, you
now.
gotta
I
do
need to
something
do
else.
something different. And that's actually how this blanket came into being, because I was at a phase at work where we had big projects going on, and I wasn't completing anything in one single day. And
Well, that's
I was
frustrating.
going crazy. I was like, I gotta finish something, just one thing. So I started doing crochet blocks, and I would have the satisfied feeling at the end of my day, like I finished
That's why
something.
I like the granny squares,
Yes.
because I'm working on a great big Afghan right now that's huge, because I did that waffle stitch. I thought it would be really cool in a big blanket, but it's kind of daunting to do. But when you're doing squares, you're like, rad.
Finished
I finished
one.
the square.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
Look at me go.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, do you use any of your metalworking in your mixed media art?
In my favorite thing that I've done is the shadow boxes that I
awesome
do.
one with the...
We had a bunch of little boxes that were going into the recycling. I'm a sucker for recycled things. I have a hard time throwing stuff away.
I have a closet full of looks like garbage.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, I can use this.
You can do something with it one day.
I'm gonna make
So I
things.
took these little boxes and I cut holes in them and I put metal pieces in and I crocheted. Well, did I? Yeah, I crocheted inside of one of them and I used embroidery floss around the edges of them and painted them, and that's just, to me, that's really satisfying and
They're
fun.
so cool
I love
looking.
doing that.
too.
I like the one with the little metal bits inside of it.
Yeah.
A little garden.
Yeah.
Metal
Yeah.
garden.
It's really
That's
cool.
awesome.
I love that store, Scrap in Portland. Have you guys been?
Oh,
I haven't been
yeah,
there in a really
I've
long
been there,
time.
yeah.
That's
They're
another
down
one of
off
those
of
places.
Burnside
that-
now
When
on
did they
Alder.
open? They just
Okay.
opened
Oh my
after I
god,
left.
that place makes me
Yeah,
crazy.
and now there are
Yeah.
a few of them. I think there are more.
Yeah.
It's like I came home with a huge bag of kimono
store.
silk scraps. I'm like, I have no idea what I'm going to do with these. Maybe I won't do anything
Probably
for
15
15
years.
years.
Yeah.
But I have them.
Yeah.
Yeah. See them becoming pretty little flowers or something.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That'd be
Or
cool.
over a canvas and painting
Yeah,
over the top
oh,
of part of it
yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Seeing how our brains are going.
I know.
know.
We should make some
Just get the
shit.
creative juices
Yeah.
flowing and stuff. Well, Angela, is there anything else you wanted to cover? Like anything? I feel like we've been topic hopping a lot.
Oh god, it's been so much fun.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I did? I don't know if you wanted to talk about this now, but what I did text you is I know you guys are, needing funds to help keep the podcast going.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We always need.
Yeah,
I
that-
cannot
yeah.
tell you how grateful I am that you guys do this because it has kept me company and maybe, I'm sitting there soldering away and laughing out loud at you talking about rapey, stabby people. That episode,
We need to hang out
Don't-
more because nobody ever fucking laughs. Like, I'm the only one that laughs at that shit.
I had to stop
no,
what
you're
I
not.
was doing and laugh at it, it's just so much fun. So I want to help support you guys. And I had talked to you about, I'd like to donate some jewelry if you guys would ever have some kind of a fundraising session or an auction
I
or...
could think about that. I feel like maybe, even though I just said that Etsy fucking sucks, like if we used an Etsy shop to do that just specifically to advertise to listeners to go there and buy stuff, we'll look into that. That would be a kind of a cool idea.
Because if, your other listeners too had things that they make that they'd like to donate so, people could buy it and raise some funds for
I
you.
know, we always get to see
That'd be
some
cool.
cool shit that people do. Like, our listeners make some cool shit.
Yeah.
When we say make some
Yep.
cool shit, they go, okay, and they go do it.
And they
I
go
know,
do it
yeah.
now.
Yeah, do it now.
Right
I
on.
have to tell myself that, yeah. Like that day I was having of just fails and fails, but I'm like, no, I want to make something. And I kept trying. And then I made this random, I don't know, thing on an old frame. I don't know. I like the way it turned out. I don't know. Yeah.
I get the most creative when I have a deadline that is looming
Mm-hmm.
heavily.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Like, I just finished
The book.
the
The
book.
altered book thing.
Like, I
yeah.
started it last week, literally. I was
Wow.
like, oh, I guess I better do this. Because we're doing a spell book swap right now. And,
It's so
like,
fun.
waited to the last fucking minute to start it.
so fun. I love it so
But
much.
my idea, I had no ideas until I was like, oh fuck, I have like 3 days left before I have to mail this. Boom.
I
there you
already
go.
have ideas for your book. I'm just waiting to get it in my hands so I can
I think
put
you
them
get
in
it
there.
next, don't you?
Yeah,
Yeah, this is our last round.
yeah.
Boop, boop.
It's so fun.
I'll show pictures.
Art swaps are great to get you.
They are fun.
Though I totally forgot about the one we were doing an embroidered funny quote or something.
Yeah, I forgot about that
I
too.
totally forgot. I was like, oh, I was supposed to
I
be
gave us
doing
an extra,
that. Oops.
I gave us an extra month because I forgot about it.
Yeah. I was so glad when I saw that. I was like, oh, thank God. Katie forgot too. I'm not the only one. Whew.
Look, I can only run so many art groups without being
I don't know how she does it.
Well,
I don't.
Okay,
She
I've got a
does so
question
many
for
things.
all of you because all of you, I feel like you guys are really artists and you guys are really, and I'm just kind of a peripheral.
I am
because
too.
I-
I'm a peripheral.
I just take care of my husband. That's really,
That's art.
I drink. Yeah, it is art. It is. It's its own art. But so, how do you guys, all of you, how do you guys reconcile the time and the money to keep it all flowing?
I don't.
I struggle with
Like,
that.
it's a struggle. It
Is
really is.
It is
Like,
Yeah.
across the board.
Yeah.
like I feel like because I don't sell much art right now. Like I just, it's kind of soul crushing as anyone who's trying to sell their own artwork when you're like, it's a rejection.
No, it is. It's a glaring rejection, and that's why I don't own an apron company
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, I make things for people,
Yes.
and that makes me feel like, okay, I'm making it
Like
for
you're
somebody. I'm
accomplishing
accomplishing something.
Mhm.
And actually the podcast kind of gives me a way to reconcile it because I'm like, I have to try this for the podcast.
Oh.
And then I do it.
I've been using that too.
Mm-hmm. But then again, if you think on a grander scheme, like, I don't make money on the podcast, so there's part of me that's like, you're not making fucking money. You've had the same 150, 200 listeners for 3 years, you know,
Yeah,
like,
but that's something.
like you talk down to yourself. But then my friend is so funny, Epsiode, who's been on the show before, always tells Kurt that I'm internet famous. I'm like, actually, no, I'm really not internet famous at all.
You are.
But I'm not. Like,
I just put 2 in and Artsy Gals popped right up. So tell me you're not internet famous. Google knows who y'all are. So.
That's funny, because Kurt now, he goes, you're my internet famous wife. That's hot. So, hey, if it's going to give me some tail.
I know, I told Scott.
If it's worth a piece of ass, I'm in.
That's right. I just told Scott that I'm like, we're meeting some fans, and he's like, "Oh, fans!" He really liked that idea. Like, well, yeah. Come on, of course we have fans, honey.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
No, we just do this for ourselves.
I justify it though as also like just for well-being, and like,
yeah, that is true.
I think it's worth it for that.
And I do need to expend a little bit of my crazy pants energy.
Yeah.
Because I get a little like, I mean, I'm...
And your crazy pants energy is big. I love it.
It is, and I have obsessive compulsive disorder, so sometimes if I can find something to just focus that on and be obsessive about, that makes everything else.
It's such a positive feeling when you get in that flow. And so I think you're always just seeking that, like that, like, oh, this, like, and then I can do this, and then I can do this, and blah, blah, blah. It's just like so much energy.
And when something turns out the way that you want it to, and you're like,
or even better than you wanted it to.
Yeah.
It's like, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Did I just fucking do
that? Yeah.
No fucking way.
I rock, yo.
Yo.
I'm walking to go.
Shit. Yes. Yes.
I reconcile it because I don't have kids. I'm thinking, well you know, for all these years I haven't been buying shoes and toys and, you know, whatever they need. I'm like, man, no, this is my baby. This is my baby. This is your baby.
Nice. Yeah.
So when's the next milestone episode?
Well, you know what I totally douched out on your birthday episode.
Personal.
Like, I was gonna make you
sarcastic.
I was gonna make you a cake.
Oh.
And I totally forgot that it was your birthday episode. Like, it's gone.
Yeah, that was last year.
So we'll do a birthday do-over episode. No, like your 1-year birthday with the show.
Oh, okay.
It was in June.
Like my birthday.
It was like, I think you started on June 1st.
Okay.
So I guess we could do a belated birthday.
God, I got douched out.
I douched out on you. Totally douched out on you. That sounds so fucking gross now that I'm saying it over and over again.
I'm such a
I
douche.
am. Leave as a whistle.
I just made a really vulgar motion. And I'm super glad that people can't actually see what I just did.
Use your creative imagination.
It was gross. I'm wrong. My mother, if she actually listened to this, would be saying out loud, Katie Ruth. What is wrong with you? I hear that so many times in a day. Especially now that my mother has a phone and she can text me. So I think we're going to wrap it up because I'm getting hungry. And what is so funny?
I just got a Gmail. Popular in your network right now. 2 artsy gals tweeted. Tweeted episode 108. Inkjet some cool shit, yo.
That was the episode that just went up yesterday.
There it is.
Woo!
In my emails.
We're inkjetting some shit. We're gonna try experimenting with some cool metals. I love working with metal. It's fun.
Oh, and Autumn, we got your comment, and thank you for your concern about our safety while driving and videotaping, but we're good, because Katie was filming, I was driving. We're cool.
I do not condone
we are not the two
texting or phone usage while people are driving me places. It makes me have the angries.
Yeah.
I have a friend that texts while she's driving.
Oh,
and I'm like, no, you put that shit down.
Yeah.
It's not okay.
Not good.
It's very dangerous.
Oh, she didn't realize it was... She said not a U.S. road, driver on the right, not the left. What? Maybe it looks mirrored or something.
Oh, it does. It flips it.
Okay.
The
Okay,
phone
yeah.
flips shit.
No, yeah, that's
No, that
funny.
confuses me sometimes.
That's why. Oh, yeah, sorry. No, we were, yeah. It's just the video. It's
We're good. We're not breaking any laws.
Well.
Not those laws.
Those
Not the ones that aren't stupid.
Yeah, the stupid laws.
The stupid laws. We
Yeah,
just
forget those.
whatever. So anyway, thank you so much, Angela.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
yeah,
Thank
you.
you, Teresa, for hanging
Beautiful
out too.
place.
We're excited.
I'm so
Yeah.
excited.
A
A
You guys
non-artsy gal here.
You're artsy.
You're
You
totally
make all the
artsy.
cool things.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck we're doing next week.
I don't either.
Yes, I do.
Is it
It's the Mod Podge Extravaganza!
Oh my God.
When I do that, I'm gonna try that sound effect that makes it go, "Woo," like,
Cool.
you know.
Yes.
I've never done it
We
before.
need more
but
sound effects.
We do. We need to be like, what are those guys? Mark and Brian in the morning? Don't they have like fart and whiz bang sounds?
You
and
need
shit
like the sound
that?
of a toilet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're
That
pretty good
used
on
to be
we
my
make
favorite
sound.
prank calls. Just call someone and flush the toilet.
I'm gonna do that now.
All right. So I have an assignment for everybody. I'm gonna make a prank phone call. Flush the toilet, and
And then
then
just giggle incessantly and hang up.
and then go make some cool shit, yo.
Yeah. And flush when you're done. Good morning, Katie. This is your friend. I'm recording on the new Tascam. I'm trying to figure out what the buttons do, but every once in a while I take a break to poo.